Hi there, this is Terry from Terrific Cards. I am going live today to show you a card that I created with the Springtime Scenes bundle. And the new catalog is out now. This Springtime Scenes bundle is actually an online exclusive, so you won't find it in the catalog, but I want to make sure that you see it. So make sure that you go online to the website, stampitup.ca, and check out under shop. You will find online exclusives. And yeah, make sure you go and check that out. So, all right, let me jump down to my desktop here. There we go. So this is a copy of the new catalog. Hopefully you already have one, and if you don't, send me a message, let me know. And please subscribe to my channel, and so you don't miss out on any of the lives or videos. All right. So first, let's show you the stamp set and the dies here. So this is the stamp set. And it has coordinating dies, which I don't have the cover for right now, but there is some very cool circle images in there. And you know what? Just give me 2 seconds and I'm actually going to grab that. Okay. Sorry about that. Every time you go live, you know, you're always missing something, of course. So this is the dies, and it's got some really cool, I guess it's some circular images. So this one is just an open circle, and then this one has the leaves in there, and then some decorative leaves just on the side of there. So you've got a lot of variety in here. And so I wanted to share this set with you. All right. Okay, the other one that we're going to be using is actually the phrases and frames, and I used Thinking of You out of this one. And I also used Sending Prayers and Heartfelt Sympathy to You and Your Family on the inside of the card. So I'm going to be using those. All right, and here's the card. Okay, so it's got more of maybe a fall feel to it. And as we go through, just let me know that you're here and say hi in the comments. All right, so you see that? There we go. All right, let's get started. So we're going to pull out, I'm actually have some of the very vanilla thick cardstock left. So I'm using a piece of that. You can use just regular vanilla cardstock, very vanilla, or you could use early espresso too, because we're going to be using that to cover up the card. And you know what I found is that I'm actually liking using the white, either the basic white or very vanilla, thicker cardstock as my base for the card. And then I'm building on top of it. So I'm actually covering up the front of the card most times just because I like having that weighty feel instead of using cardstock for the whole card base. So, all right, so there's our card base. We are going to set that aside. We have one piece of early espresso that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you know what? Let's go ahead and adhere that to the front of the card. So we don't need to do anything else with it. So we'll get that out of the way, get one of those pieces out. Oh, I have a little bit of the sniffles today. Sorry about that. And we went for a brunch this morning at the zoo. It's really good, but so full. Holy smokes. All right. So if you notice, I use the edge of my table just so that I have a straight edge. If you have a scoring board, that's a perfect place to adhere something like this. So you push your card into the corner of the scoring board, and then you can adhere this top layer on top of it and get it on all sides there. So that's start with that. All right, and set that aside. Now we're going to take a piece of 4 7/8 by 5 3/8 of the early espresso again. And what we're going to do with this is we're actually going to wet it down. So I just have a mister here that has just water in it, and I am going to mist that cardstock. Now I know a lot of people might be completely freaked out by this next step, but we are going to take this cardstock and we're going to crumple it all up. All right. There we go. I'm going to unfold it. And I'm going to crumple it in another direction to make sure that it's nice and all distressed there. There we go. Okay. Perfect. That looks great. There we go. Can you see that? It's all nice and distressed. Okay, I'm going to set that aside to dry. I'm going to just wipe off my mat here. Okay. And then let's work on this piece because we need to let this dry as well. So this is a piece of watercolor paper, Fluid 100, and it is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. All right. Oops. Got a little sticky note out of there. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to take my water brush and I'm going to take the new Golden Glow. Have you seen these ink pads yet? These are great. So they're magnetic. So just pop them open. No more fighting with ink pads. Oh, actually, I want a little bit more ink on there. So I'm going to squeeze this to get some ink into the pad there. Lid. There we go. That's better. All right. So, like I said, we've got water painter. I'm going to take the water painter and I'm going to add some water to my cardstock. All right. And then I'm going to take some ink and I'm going to lightly brush it across. And we'll get some more water on there. We're going to blend that. Some more ink. There we go. Yeah, what do you think? All right, let's set this aside to dry as well. There. Wipe off my mat. Okay, so I love using glass mats because they're so easy to just wipe up Give you a solid surface. You don't have to worry about your stamps not stamping properly. And you can just clean them off whenever you get stuff on them. It's fabulous. All right. So let's get started with putting the rest of the card together. So I have some old Country Woods DSP and the Everyday Arches. So I've just used that DSP. You can use whatever you have that coordinates with the Early Espresso, and then just cut it out with the, like I said, with the Everyday Arches. That's in, it's in the catalog. It has been carried over. These are some really great dies. Okay, let's bring in our pieces here. So what I did was I cut out the one die using Cajun Craze, and then I cut out the circle from the die set using Very Vanilla. I cut out some leaves using the Golden Glow, and I cut out some of these ones using Cajun Craze. And on these ones, I actually used some adhesive sheets. So I love adhesive sheets, especially for things like die cutting intricate dies when I have to put something together, because gluing them just creates a mess. So, all right, there's our pieces. So we're going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to glue these two pieces together because I don't want this whole Cajun Craze. So I am going to glue this piece of Very Vanilla on top. All right. So I'm going to grab some liquid glue, fine tip glue. And then we're just going to glue that down. So like I said, we went to the zoo this morning for brunch. We did not actually walk through the zoo because it is cold here. Holy smokes. We have a nice wind chill. It definitely does not feel like May. It feels more like probably March. My poor flowers are not sure how to handle this. Luckily, I have a garage that I can put them in. So basically, it's in and out of the garage daily. All right, here we go. Perfect. Okay. So we have that piece glued together. Oh, did not stick there. Just make sure. Okay. Okay, let's bring in our leaves. And we will peel this adhesive off of here. Glue these down. You know what I don't have beside me is a garbage can. And that would be really handy to have. So note to self to put a garbage can beside my desk. I'm not sure if you've all seen, but I just redid my craft space, my basement. So go check out my videos. I think they're posted on my Facebook for this or Insta. And, check out my craft space video. There we go. There's one. See, I like how easy this is with the adhesive sheets. And they are in the catalog. Run out, grab yourself some. I think sometimes the hardest part is just peeling the backing off of the adhesive sheets. A lot of people struggle with that. You can use your take your pick tool. That's a great option to just kind of pick it off there to get it started. This one is actually not too bad. Came off pretty easily, so I'm grateful. There we go. And there, now I have a second leaf. So this card comes together fairly quickly. There's not a lot to it. It is just, you know, a little bit of die cutting, gluing, and some distressing. All right. Next thing is I'm going to take my sentiment and I am going to stamp that. And so I've got Early Espresso ink and I've got Thinking of You. And oh, I forgot to mention this little die here that we're using for the sentiment comes from the Playful Packaging die set. Sorry, just bring this closer to me so I can see, because it just fits on there without a lot of margin of error. Try and get that straight. Yeah, I think that's pretty darn good. Okay. Oh. Okay. Meow. Let's see. This is still a little bit wet. And this isn't too bad. So let's take this and we're going to grab, Early Espresso Reinker. And I'm going to grab just a little bit here. If you have the Stampin' Up! Glass mats, you do have that little tray that comes with it, the silicone tray that you can do this in. So that's really handy. All right. So I'm going to put a fair amount of water in here from my brush. And then I am going to, oh, I already got a dot on there. Let's move this so I don't get everything splattered, and I'm going to splash a little bit ink, hopefully. I'm always worried because I don't want huge splatters. There we go. But you have to have enough water so that you're so that it's splattering it all, right? There we go. Right, that's probably good. Okay. Move this out of the way so we don't have a catastrophe. Okay, set that back out to dry. The other piece. So yeah, if you need things to dry a little more quickly, you can go ahead and use your heat tool. That works too. Okay. So now I'm going to take this and we are going to take some linen thread. And my scissors here. So when I saw this die set the other night, I had this dream that I wanted this to hang. So that is what we are going to do. We're going to hang this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the linen thread, and I've got more than enough here, and I'm going to place my die where I want it. And then I'm going to take my thread And I could probably glue this down first, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hold it there and I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to hold it tight. And, oh, there we go. And I'm just going to use some tape. There we go. See how talented I am that I can do all of these things at once. Holding and cutting tape. Let's just make sure that's where I want it. And it comes down. I do believe so. That looks good. Okay, so I'm going to cut off the ends of this. I don't need all of this. There we go. Okay. So now I want to glue this down. We're going to go back to our liquid glue. Fine tip glue. And we are just going to add some around here. Some to the leaves. Leaves. Go, talk amongst yourselves. I feel like I need background music, like the Jeopardy music or something. Da, 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 da. All right. So now, I'll turn this around. I'm going to do it upside down, but I won't. Nope. I don't want it there. I want it like this. There we go. Down. There we go. Okay. That is glued down. Then let's take these leaves and we're going to layer those. I need my dimensionals. Let's use the minis. So if you notice, I'm going to put the dimensionals where I'm not putting them on this side. Because I'm going to layer these on top of each other and the side. So they don't need to be standing up exactly in the same spots. Let's do that. All right. Oh, let's put one up top here. There we go. Okay. So let's start with the Cajun Craze one. And let's put that one there. I'm going to move this dimensional over this side. There we go. There we are. Okay. And then the thinking of you, we are going to put it down on this corner here. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on this side of it, and this side. And I'm just going to glue the other side because it's going to sit on top of the already dimensional leaves. This time we're going to use the white glue. And let me just make sure I got the right side. Okay. Oop. I grabbed the tab and forgot the dimensional. There we go. Okay. There we are. All right. Let's just put the lids back on these because I don't need them anymore. And I really don't want this stuff drying out. If you know, you know. Cool. Okay. So we've got kind of a little tag there. We've got this piece. So let's go ahead and actually we're going to tear the bottom of this piece. So just a little bit off the bottom here. I don't want to take too much off. Okay. And then I'm going to dimensional this onto that piece. And to be honest, you could probably make this piece a little bit longer. That's okay. So I'm going to move it up a little bit so I can see that tear. There we go. Okay. Now let's bring this back in. And it is still a little bit wet. So you know what? I am actually going to step away just for a second and hit that with the heat tool. Just give me 1 second. All right, that's better. Sorry about that. Okay, and then I'm going to take a sponge dauber and I'm going to take my early espresso ink and I just want to get some ink on here. Just in the folds, give it a little dimension so you can really see that. It just gives it a little bit of depth when you add some ink. Not that it's hugely noticeable or anything, but it just gives it that, like I said, that depth because you see that shadow. All right, okay. And then I'm actually going to curl this corners. There we go. Curl this corner. Okay, let's get some adhesive here. You know what? I think we're going to use this one. With all the bumps and stuff. It should be good. It should hold pretty darn good here. Okay. All right, and plop that down right in the center. Hold it down for a minute. Let's let that grab on there. Okay, and then I'm going to put that on. And I think we're just going to glue it down. You know what? The first time I glued it down, this time I actually think I'm going to use dimensionals on this one. Change it up a little bit. Yep. There. Okay, now the original card that I made, let's bring this one back in. Oh, we'll have to put some dots on there, but I actually did the inside as well. So all I did was take a piece of watercolor paper again, and I did the same technique as I did on this piece here. And then, so the piece of watercolor paper is just short of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So just a little bit smaller than that. And then I stamped the inside sentiment on top of there, and I stamped a little leaf on there. So I'm not going to do this again. I'm actually going to leave that inside part. I will stamp the sentiment though. So the other way I kind of wanted to carry the design of the card into the inside as well. This one I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm just going to stamp the sentiment. All right. So I'm actually just going to leave that nice and simple. I wonder, you know what? Let's stamp a leaf in there. Give it a little bit more the design. I think I might need more ink on my aging craze here. It's okay though. Yeah. All right. That's all right. And there we go. This would be a good time to mention, if I had a stamp positioner, which I do, and it's in the drawer, that I could restamp that if I had done something like that. So, if you have a stamp positioner, you are a lucky duck. And if you don't have one, you should maybe check one out in the catalog. All right. So there we go. There's our cute little card. Hopefully you never have to give it away. That is my hope for you. All right. So there we go. 2 cards. Hi. All right. So that's it for today. Oh, you know what? We have to go back because I forgot to add the gems. Oh, how could I do that? So we've got the 2026 to 2028 in colors dots. And I'm just going to add those. I'm sorry, totally forgot. I meant to go back and do that, and I did not. There we go. I'm just using the Golden Glow ones. There. Now the card is finished. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. If you're watching this on the replay, thanks for stopping in, and make sure to leave me comments. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'll go back to the video if you leave me a question in the comments, and I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel so that you can be up to date on any videos or lives that I'm doing. And yeah, if you need anything, let me know. I'm Terry from Terrific Cards, and we will see you soon. Bye.